A lot of us will often have goals, but we'll also often have this kind of grand illusion that it's going to take one big event. You know, we're going to have that one day where we really commit to change, and we, you know, change the whole way that we see the world and ourselves, and ultimately what we do every day that we wake up. But we kind of neglect the obvious truth, which is that what we end up creating in our lives, the lives that we're living, you know, the business that we build, the version of ourselves that we end up becoming, is a direct result of the actions that we take consistently every single day. Right? It's like, you know, you're not going to get in fantastic shape by going and doing one giant workout. It takes consistent effort multiple times every single week, and then eventually, as a result of our consistent actions, we will start to produce a result in our lives. We know that mastery takes time. We know that you need to practice whatever it is that you want to get good at. So if you want to create change in your life, often the reason that we're not able to do that is because we're not respecting the power of habit, right? And when we understand how our brains work and how the actions that we take in every moment are going to lead to the outcome that we create, the same actions, if we're doing the same actions every single day, you know, we're getting up the same time, we're making our coffee in the same way, we're brushing our teeth with the same hand, we're putting our same leg in our trousers when we get dressed in the morning, leaving our house at the same time, driving the same car, the same way to work, in the same job with the same people, and just basically repeating the same experience again and again and again. We're thinking the same thoughts, we're feeling the same emotions, and we're living the same life every day, we're essentially reliving our past. And if we're taking the same actions as the actions that have got us to where we are, then we can easily predict what our future is going to look like. We're going to create the same future as the past because we're doing the same actions, and the same actions lead to the same results. So if we want to create change in our lives, and we have a goal, and we have a vision, we have something that we're working towards, we have to put conscious intention into changing what we do every single day. And that all starts with awareness. Because by age 35, 95% of every single thing that we do is a subconscious pattern that we're just running again and again and again. We've got to consciously put intention into changing, and it starts with becoming aware of what we're doing. So I want to share an exercise with you that's really, really powerful to kickstart this process of making any kind of change. And that is to look at, actually take some time, book some time out in your day, sit down and look at and write out what you are doing every single day consistently. What are your habits that you're repeating again and again and again? You know, what do you eat? What thought patterns come up again and again? What actions are you taking again and again? What are these patterns? And what you'll start to realize is when you get conscious about this and you actually shine a light on it, you might be quite surprised by what comes up. And then you can start labeling, are these good habits that are moving you closer to where you want to get to and who you want to become, or are these bad habits that are actually holding you back? And a great question to ask yourself is, if you were already living the life that you want to live, and you were already the version of yourself who you want to become, would these habits, these things that you're doing every day, would that ultimate version of you be doing them, those things? And if the ultimate version of you would not be doing those things, then you're not moving towards that ultimate version of you. Because if you want to create that version of yourself and create that version of your life, and that's the outcome that you want to drive towards, you have to do the things, do the actions every single day that version of yourself would do. Because when you do those actions, you will ultimately create that result, but it takes consistency, and it all begins with what are we choosing to do every single day in this moment right now. So figure it out, write it out, actually look at it and ask yourself whether those actions are leading you closer to that version of yourself. And if they're not, then we know it's time to change. We need to start shifting and reprogramming how to do that. Okay, so one little tip for you, final little tip, bit of advice. If you want to start making a change, we've got to respect, again, the power of habit. We've got to understand how our brains work. It's not going to be an overnight fix, but it's about taking consistent action in a different direction, and start small. I learned this concept from a book called Mini Habits by Stephen Guise. I think that's how you pronounce his surname. But the concept is, if we try and suddenly create some radical change and we end up committing to doing 5 60-minute workouts every single week when we've never worked out in our lives before, our mind and our body is going to kick up a hell of a fuss, right? There's going to be some major resistance to doing that. And so instead, if we can respect how our mind works and start much smaller, we can start to create new neurological pathways, and we can start to program our body to a new mind. We can start to build new habits from the ground up. And if we can do that, we're ultimately going to start moving slowly in a different direction. All right, so don't go crazy big from the word go. That is a surefire way to just crash and burn and fail. Start reprogramming yourself with smaller habits, but have that conscious intention of where you're actually wanting to get to, and are the things you're doing every day driving you closer to that. All right, hope that helps, and I will speak to you in another video. Bye for now.